Welcome back to Fire and Smoke, New Ronne. We are Philip,
Abby,
Blake,
Ethan,
also known as Dungeon Master.
Avis Merlot,
Devin Merlot,
Neil.
On the last episode, the old-timers met oldest Neil in the caverns and tunnels for hundreds of years on his own. Oldest Neil spends his time trying to help all the different versions of themselves down here escape and get back to, he assumes, their time, their home. Neil, having saved old Neil after old Avis and old Devin turned into corrupt, had a conversation with oldest Neil. Oldest Neil giving advice outwardly to everybody about how to move around this place and potentially make it to a threshold to leave or gain power or something, he wasn't sure, but having a private conversation with Neil as well about what they do and why they do what they do. They shared a goodbye, a group hug, Devin giving oldest Neil a photo of him and Avis to remember them. Though with all the Neils in his head, he said he's got plenty of company down here. Oldest Neil walked off into the darkness until he disappeared. You all took his advice, looking up to those reflective mirages, different times, different places, versions of you at different times here, lost in this place, jumping between them, navigating this place with Neil's help until you reached a tunnel different from the rest. After time unknown to you, you see the threshold, a strange ringed shape that as you moved around it turned into a kind of portal or doorway that you all stepped through. And that's where we are now. As you all take a step, holding hands, still bound with your rope, your tether to each other, you see white void all around you. It is unclear where you are physically. There seems to be nothing in this place. You look behind you, each glancing, no longer see that portal, that doorway back. If you were to try to move back and see if you could stick your arm back outside, you can't, or at least you can't find it. Then your eyes begin to adjust. Bright white all around you, like high exposure that your eyes needed time to take in. You see it starts to fade down a little bit and you can make out shapes. You can't quite focus on the things right in front of you, but if you look in the distance trying to look around, you see spiraling, turning, interconnecting branches, or you're not sure. They're like dark, whereas the void around them is light. They look muddled, like you can't quite make out the shapes. It doesn't look like physical branches. It doesn't look like wood. It doesn't look like a tree. It looks like shapes, people, places, but versions reiterating, changing, and expanding out into the distance to where you can't see. All of them interconnecting and passing each other and turning on their heads, branching timelines, but not in a way that makes a lot of intuitive, linear sense to all of you. And the reason you can't look ahead and focus is because the four of you are in a sort of branch. However, as you take a step forward tentatively, you see the act of moving or doing shifts everything. All that jumbled spaghetti of branches moves just a little bit, reforming. The branch you're walking on changes a bit. You look forward and you look behind and you see potential future and theoretical past, but it seems like they're subject to change. What are you guys looking for as you walk around this strange void?
If we look towards like the past direction, can we look for like landmark moments that we would recognize or remember?
You can see moments like entering the elevator, getting to Queen Maud, like meeting the merchant and meeting Jonathan, meeting the kid, as it stretches out into infinity and you need to spend time traveling back further you want to see. It doesn't look like there's an end to any branches in any direction.
Do we just need to travel back then? Walking towards the past of our branch?
That would make sense. I guess I'll point out moments that I recognize and try to like move the group together, walking backwards.
If you move to look at your past, you can't quite figure out a way to physically interact with it. You seem to be in an odd superposition of being physically here and able to observe all of this while still not having the power to affect it at all or affect where your position is on your branch except by moving forward. Like, you can't walk backwards into the past. You can't move into the past. You don't have... Stepping through that portal didn't give you the power, whatever power the stranger has, evidently. You are still just you. So if you walk back to observe moments from your past, you can't, like, interact with them or jump into them. Why doesn't everybody give an investigation check, though? Avis, Kid is going to give you the help action.
I got 13.
I got a 17.
3.
Devin, as you're looking around at some of these branches, trying to look at potential futures, seeing things in the distance of different natures, like all of you talking with the stranger, all of you being back home, glimpses of a future with Milo, glimpses of a future without him. But if you guys try to move in that direction with intention towards one of those to inspect it, things change. They shift out of order, they disappear, they reappear in different places. It's hard to go and try to figure out what will happen in the future because anything could happen. Avis, as you and the kid are walking together, you're looking for a way back home, a way to Milo. Something different than all this branches that you guys can't control, can't get on, can't get into, something that has some interest to it. I think you notice that the further out you look into the futures, you're seeing those branches having intersections, splitting off into two different timelines and splitting again. Even as they loop and change and circle, you're seeing the density of these like junctions between two timelines increases as you look forward and decreases as you look back. Perhaps walking towards the past and seeing what you can find might lead you to some sort of source or some sort of important junction, or you're not sure, but moving towards the future seems useless in your current scenario.
Future is a no.
Future's big mystery.
Maybe we should walk backwards and see what we see.
Back to the past, not the future.
Has that movie came out yet?
A reference that Devin doesn't get.
I actually don't know.
Came out in 1985.
So it's been been like announced.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
gave like a teaser trailer.
There's also not a Hollywood.
What?
No.
Well, you know, the West Coast,
So movies just don't exist.
well, movies
We're never
exist.
going to get
No,
movies.
because
No, they're all different.
Old Neil loves movies. It's a different Back to the Future.
It's just different. They could have still made it.
Anyway,
That's probably our best option. And we start mad sprinting towards the past. Faster than Philip can stop us.
not doing the fancy walk.
No fancy walk. We're running.
It's like I know we're still tethered together, but it's like when you like tie your legs together to do the
three-legged race.
three-legged
Yeah.
race. But it's like
We're going left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right.
We're so efficient.
The kid immediately falls over into a
No.
stumble.
No. We got him. We got him.
Gets to roll for it, obviously. Devin's gonna roll a dexterity check.
Kid rolled a 5 on the dice.
Devin got an 18.
Neil, without saying anything, breaks off into a full sprint, trying
And
to pull
Devin
the group
follows.
along
Devin
by
keeps
the
up.
ropes.
I'm locked in.
Devin and Avis follow. The kid immediately stumbles over himself and skids to the ground and says,
We-
"Wait, Neil, hold up! You gotta give some kind of warning about that."
grab him, help him up. We're going.
Yeah.
Avis and I both like grab one of his arms and put it over our shoulder.
Dual piggyback ride.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going.
Okay.
You guys just go so fast
We're running.
towards the past.
So fast.
Well, we got to
it can't-
cover like 200 years, right?
It can't change if we're running fast.
Yeah,
We'll go
it
faster
doesn't
than
have
the
time.
change. Yeah.
It's not ready for it. We're going to get to the past and be like, what? They're here already?
They were expecting us to walk.
So anyways, we're sprinting.
Everybody should make a perception check.
With advantage?
Kid will give you advantage.
Yes! That's a 10.
Dirty 20.
You stole Avis's advantage for a 10.
You know what? I still got more than you. I got 14.
All good.
Imagine what she could have done with
She
it.
didn't need
Yeah.
it.
As you're moving along these branches or past them, this space is weird. You're walking on a level plane, but only because you guys are kind of intentionally choosing to do so. Like, there's not ground here. There's nothing under your feet. And as you adjust or stumble, you can find yourselves moving literally in any direction, walking up now or walking down or wherever you want to as you explore,
We're in
moving
creative
towards
mode.
the past. You're in creative mode, moving towards the past. Devin, you see on some of these timeline branch things, they're hard to describe physically. You're not sure they're a physical thing or if your brain is just giving you a representation of what it sees. You're seeing in some of them, though, the stranger. Some other time that was just a part of their journey. You point it out to the group and follow it back to see how they got here or what changed for them. You guys traverse this space for, you're not sure how long. You're not feeling time pass here. It's hard to judge, even with your movements and talking to each other. You're not sure how long it's taking, but you're following it back and you see collapsing junctions, branches, these connections where they split, becoming fewer and fewer in this localized area until there's a single kind of junction or connection in the distance. There are more branches, like a branch with a lot of twigs coming to a point, but then joining a larger tree or an even larger branch down somewhere else. It's all a jumbled mess and hard to tell, but it looks like an important node. You see it's glowing bright white as you're moving towards it. The area around you all is getting colder. You hear echo in this place. You feel the weight of everything around you, and you spot that junction.
The stranger's in that one.
Yeah, if you follow it back towards the past, there seems to be like a glowing connection over there, like a node of some kind.
I see it.
We start walking that way then? Check it out.
Yeah, as we walk towards that one, it stays the same, like it doesn't change. Like
The past isn't really changing as much as when you try to move and observe the future. It's just reordering and shifting because this place doesn't make physical sense. But you can kind of try to latch onto one, and with Neil's help navigating, move towards that specific spot. Once you get there, you see these converging timelines down to a central junction in all these branches. In this localized space, you can think of this as like the root of the tree, even though all of this is connected to endless timelines, endless branches, endless space out in the distance towards the past and towards the future. This is the heart of all these localized branches. And as you close distance and examine it, you see that lodged into the node, into that branch physically, is Ela, the stranger. You see their face is like sticking out of this light. The node, the central junction, is a more bright light like the rest of the junctions. You see it's a convergence of possibility of going from one branch to a different one, like all the smaller ones as the branches go further out. And the stranger is embedded in this quote-unquote trunk of this tree, fully melded into it. You're only seeing part of their arm and their face sticking out. Their eyes are closed. They're not responsive. They don't look at you. They don't acknowledge you. They're not awake. You don't know if they're dead. You don't know if they're asleep. You don't know how it works.
This node, is it kind of like some of the others where it's like a moment in time?
Give an insight check.
That is a 20.
I think, Devin, that you can see that this junction, you remember Ela talking about a primary branch or changing the way things were. And this branch that it stems from seems like a central one in regards to your time and your area at the station and where the world went afterwards. This is in your past, so Ela, if they made it in here, moved down towards this place, evidently from wherever far in the future they came from. This junction looks like one that was created by a transformation, and the first two branches off of it that create all the other times and all the other possibilities are a world where the stranger did do this and one where they didn't. And they are stuck in that moment, and you can't see anything else by observation alone.
But this is assumingly the moment where the stranger showed up and then sent us.
No. Think
It's
of it
not.
like the moment the stranger got their time powers or became able to like traverse down the bridge. This is like far in the past, like in your past, like far, far down.
That makes sense.
Let's poke it.
It's like rub it. Like
Yeah,
crystal
get in
ball.
there. Get in there, Devin.
Me?
Yeah.
Devin with his magic hands.
No longer turning things to dust. Not magic anymore.
They could be magic again one day. Who knows? Devin will reach out and try to...
Devin, what are you doing?
Well, it looks like whatever's going on here helped them get their powers to manipulate time somehow. So if we can recreate that, presumably we could find our way back.
I think it's worth a try.
I agree. Like, we really don't know what we're doing here.
Well, yeah, but like the stranger was like, well, I don't want to be mean because they seemed nice when they helped us out down there, talked to us, but when they showed up at the station, they were weird, floating, blue skin, time power person.
Would you want me to try, Devin? You two have Milo to get back to. And Neil reaches for the stranger's hand.
Devin's going to kind of grab his arm. Neil, you have a life to get back to as well.
It's not the same, is it?
Sure it is.
I'll go back to maintaining the server at the research station.
If that's what you would want to do, but could always have you go on your way somewhere else if you'd like. There's no reason for you to be stuck there, if that's not what you want to do. That doesn't mean you have to do this.
It's a risk, but I've lived 100 years. It's all right.
Devin's gonna loosen his grip on Neil's arm and put his hands up. If that's what you want, I'll support it.
All right, I go for it.
Neil, you reach out and grasp the hand of Ela. Your conversations with old Neil and oldest Neil, creating that channel where you can have a conversation with them, like that happened in rapid speed, but still took some physical time. What you see when you touch the stranger's hand happens in an instant. More like you suddenly have the memories and have the experience of knowing those memories versus watching them happen live. You see this person arriving by themselves on the shores of the continent, walking through the desolate ruins of New Ronne in a far future, making their way through Queen Maud, rooting out information in old servers only kept powered by the geothermal generators of Queen Maud that continued to function, making their way underground into those tunnels and caverns, that fourth dimensional thing that you're looking around right now in these memories of those caverns and thinking about your own interpretation of them. And you don't think they look all too dissimilar in structure to the way the branches interact and move out into infinity, just inverted. Like the empty space is the branch, and the material around it is the void. You see them, this version of them, like you know there must be countless theoretical versions of them, surviving and surviving, building on their own successes, interacting with versions of themselves, learning information, theorizing, transferring supplies, trying to make sure somebody was successful, until they got to this inner sanctum, or that threshold, whatever that doorway was, and made it here. You see, this is the point where they changed. You're seeing them meld and melt away, losing themselves in this moment in the timeline, and transferring into it, but with the powers that you saw them have in the server room hundreds of years ago. You see a long time of them figuring out and configuring and learning about themselves, and you follow them along a branch as they move themselves forward in time and back in time, and you see them learning about how it works for them and what they can do, moving forward down a branch, moving backward, moving forward, and it's only going along the same branch past a junction, and they can't figure out how to switch to a different branch or get a different future besides whatever defaults as they try to move themselves forward in time, unless they make it to a junction or form a new one and create a new future to go down. You see them learning about moving time through things and moving things through time, affecting branches, creating new junctions, collapsing old ones. And you feel like this is all happening alongside something else in the background that you can't see and can't comprehend, like a guiding hand, or there's some intention to how the branches interact with the stranger and how the stranger interacts with time. You're not clear, but you think about the idea of like a tree growing with intention, these branches collapsing, expanding, creating new junctions in a way that would be best suited for stability and to make sure that things didn't go wrong for the timelines. As the stranger has figured out their powers, you see them move forward to a point where they can hinder the United, the thing they were working against this whole time, the thing they were told brought the downfall of everything, by not letting it have access to this power, this time stuff, this entity below the thawed Antarctic. Getting to New Ronne and using their power, their limited power, to send people away, to empty this place out and to make it a ominous graveyard for anybody who would think to step foot on this land again. Sending them to the past would be a risk. They would change things, they would alter junctions, they would potentially ruin anything. Sending them to the future was just putting them down different branches somewhere else, orphaning those off as they were cut, letting them live out their lives in a world that they would make. And it would mean that in this timeline, they would create a junction where there weren't people here, there weren't colonies, there wasn't research, there wasn't anything established that would lead to the discovery of the power beneath the ground, and the world would go down a different primary branch. One that was not led to ruin, one that had possibility of a gentler and kinder world for their brother. You understand all of that in the second you touch the stranger's hand. It jolts your arm back like an electric shock as all that information is put into your head.
So the stranger was trying to shift the primary branch of time to a different one, and we were stuck in like leftovers of the old one. In the grand structure of time, like our branches are now like the offshoots, and the ones where the United doesn't have the time killing power is the main one.
From this node flowing back towards expanded area of the past of those timelines, there seems to be like a thread or a through line through a more central timeline. You're not sure if that means anything to you. The world you existed in was just as real as a different version of the timeline, a different universe. It didn't make it any less real for your experiences or the people there. It's not like they don't exist or wouldn't exist. It's just that they're not central, or it's unclear what importance that actually has to anybody living there. But it seemed important to Ela, to the stranger, in some sense.
Then I try to explain that idea to the others, that like what the stranger actually did was like make a branch and branches like it where the United didn't look into and doesn't have time related powers, are like those are central and kind of preeminent. Did I at least grasp from like watching the stranger work, like how I would put us back in 1983 in our timeline, or a timeline like ours?
It's a little unclear how you could control the power without doing the same thing they did, but everybody should make a perception check as you're standing around thinking about it.
Turns out we had a somewhat bad read on what the stranger was doing, I guess. We're like, oh, they're sending us forward so we can understand, so then we can just change the course of history, but they're just doing it themselves.
Well,
We're kind of just a side effect.
In Devon's head, thinking about yourselves as the main characters of your own story, you thought that might be what's important, but it's not a incorrect notion about what could work. The vibe you get is what was important to the stranger, to Ela, was changing the world into one where the United didn't lead it to ruin,
right.
That somebody didn't discover this power underneath the surface and try to control it. And you think about how you all decided to leave Queen Maud with a steward who would make a community that would protect and seclude the information here, rather than let it be open to anyone, or just say, we're going to get underground and bail on this timeline and go back to ours, and the administrator can do whatever he wants to do, or who cares? It's not real. It's not our timeline. You still wanted to change it to one where that power wasn't abused. So that's what's important to them. If there's another way to make that happen besides disappearing you all, that's an idea to hold on to.
Yeah. But that wasn't their intention. Their intention was just to get the end result. To them, the easiest way to do that would just completely make sure that no one ever could even find it.
I think you think that's probably your best read.
All right. Anyway, I got a 17.
Nat 1.
I got 26.
While Neil is explaining all of this, he is not paying attention to his surroundings at all. He's kind of lost in thought, trying to recall memory as he experienced it or experiences it in real time. Devin, you're kind of listening intently. Avis, you did not notice on his natural 20 stealth check that I still have lying face up in the dice tray anybody leave your side. But what you do notice on your perception check as you're listening to this story is the rope on your waist is hanging loose now as the kid has moved behind you and around to the other side of this node, sneaking around. I think you suddenly get a sense of panic that he's not by your side, and you think he's on the other side of this thing, but he's out of view right now.
Oh no, where's the kid?
Kid, where are you?
No response.
No response.
Can I run around the node?
Devin's gonna grab Avis's hand so we can all go together and make sure we don't get separated, in case that still matters.
You all move around to the other side quickly, and you see he looks like he's halfway through the process of melding into this thing himself, just like the stranger did. He still looks conscious and like alive and there, his eyes are open. He just looks like he's sinking into it slowly with a somber look on his face as he sees you all round the corner and be there with him all of a sudden.
I've got both free hands. I'm grabbing him. Absolutely not.
Devin's gonna try to grab hold of one of his arms as well.
I'll take the other arm.
You guys all, without thought, only concerned for his safety and well-being, at the same time grab him as he goes, "Wait, I can..." And you all reach for him, grabbing on, Neil taking hold of his shoulders, Devin taking one arm, and Avis taking the other as you try to pull. In the moment that you connect with him, you all get the memory of something. You all first see the kid's life, his sad life in New Ronne that he was reluctant to share about, besides that initial conversation where he let you know why he snuck away from his home, from his parents who were mean, trying to get into the station and find out if there was any research into anything like him or something that could cure him or change him, until he met all of you and all the adventure you had. And the conversation, the memory that you get that you don't remember before this point, or didn't happen, or will happen, is the four of you sitting around a little fire outside in the dark mud of the wasteland between New Ronne and Queen Maud, on that journey you went on. The long night surrounds you, the deep darkness, the fog blocking off anything in the distance. The only light you take comfort in is the light of the fire in between the four of you, and you're all sitting together. And the kid says, I'm sorry. I thought it would be better if I didn't say anything about it.
You don't need to be sorry for trying to do something so brave.
What exactly were you trying to do?
Yeah, just let us know what you're on about.
Well, when Neil touched the stranger and saw all that stuff, I was kind of still holding Neil's arm, and I saw all of it too. And I thought it looked like the only way to be able to control the power or whatever that like the stranger did was to be like them and do what they did. And I didn't want it to be any of you guys. So I was going to try to do it myself. The embers crackle as the wood burns between the four of you sitting here at night together, just like you had done for so many nights.
You don't need to take that all on yourself. Maybe there's another way.
Why don't we just talk about things before we do stuff?
If we had talked about it, I was worried you guys were going to try to talk me out of it. Or Neil would have volunteered, and I don't know. Kid looks around at the place you all are. You don't see the white void. You don't see any of that stuff. You feel physically here around the fire. And he says, I don't know why I got so lucky. The journey we went on and all that fun was like the best thing that ever happened to me. I really love you guys a lot. But I think I was living kind of a fantasy, or like not thinking about what would happen when we actually got back. Like, I really don't like my parents and I don't want to see them again, but they're still there in New Ronne in our time. And when I used to like be at my house and look out my window, I would see sometimes you guys walking by with your son, and I was always really jealous or envious and wanted to have that kind of life and those kind of parents. And I don't know, like, I didn't know what I was thinking. Like, if we got back to New Ronne, I would just disappear and you guys would suddenly have a new kid. You don't think people would ask questions about that? I don't think it was ever going to work like that.
Kid, I have legs. We'd have a lot to explain regardless. We would have made it work.
Either way, you don't get to decide what I care about when I do care about you. So don't even act like you're just someone to be thrown away when we get back.
The reason I wanted to do this was because I knew that you cared about me. And I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe we could still be together and I'll just be your weird time kid instead of your weird shapeshifter kid. But one of us was going to have to do this. That's what the memory of the stranger showed me. I mean, that's how they controlled it. We've been walking around this place for who knows how long, just looking at the past and trying to see the future and not getting anywhere. And this is how they were able to control and move us through time. If it wasn't me, it was going to be one of you, or it was going to be Neil, and that's also not fair. So I wanted to do this for you guys, and I think you deserve it. You showed me the kind of person I can be and the kind of life I can have. That's more than I could ask for. I don't know if it's too late for me to back out, but even if it wasn't, I wouldn't want to.
I'm proud of you. It's not easy to just give up a normal life like that.
I think we'll respect your decision then.
Give me an insight check, Devin and Avis.
I got a 15.
I got 12.
Neil kicks rocks.
What is the rock roll?
What is the rock roll?
25.
Oh, it's a good rock.
Great rock.
Great rock.
High quality.
This whole conversation with you all here, he's been in his neutral form, his true form. Those small pools of white, his eyes. As you say that, he seems like he is holding back tears. You're not sure if he can cry, but he seems to have that feeling about him. And he says, I was never going to have a normal life. But that doesn't mean that I can't have a good one. life with you guys, our time together, that was good. And it's got to end good for you guys. And it's going to end good for me. It'll just be different. But I'm used to being different. And I've never been more sure about that than after all this time I've spent with the three of you.
Can you tell if the process is still going? Or have we kind of paused it or something? Or can we really stay here with you while it happens?
I'm not quite sure, but let's just sit here and talk. As long as we can.
Then talk we shall.
Neil stacks 2 rocks on top of each other. Get to a good sitting height, settles in, he's ready to chill.
You all have a long conversation, talking and laughing and spending time together. Time passes without notice. You're not sure how long you stay here together. But eventually, Kid, with happiness in his face, pulls the three of you into a tight hug. And when he pulls back, you see that suddenly he looks a little different. He now has a light blue glow about him. He looks at you all in turn and he says, I'm not going to let this be goodbye, like we were saying. But I just want you guys to know that I love you, all of you, and I had a good time.
Neil pulls him in.
You look good in blue.
Devin will go in for his own hug. I love you too, kid. And I know you can visit, so you better visit us.
Oh, I don't know if I'll have any time. Busy.
Time? See you soon.
I love you more than you know, kid. I promise you you'll be in my thoughts. And promise me you'll do the same.
I will, Avis, and I think we're going to have new memories together too. But I'm going to cherish these old ones for the rest of my life.
Really?
I was going to say that. No.
Say it then, say it.
Really?
Jennifer Coolidge.
Really?
Kid nods his head and he says, yeah, really. Kid raises a finger at the three of you as he takes a step back and smiles, and you see that thin, translucent film of energy envelop all of you as the world turns bright white outside and he and everything else disappears from view. And you all, after a few moments of the world morphing and changing like a high-speed video outside, find yourselves suddenly standing with a little bit of a stumble, making some noise, crashing down a little bit, in the hallway outside of the server room at New Ronne. You hear conversation on the other side of the door, and you hear some commotion as suddenly 4 people are sent forward in time. You see the door in front of you, and on the other side, a stranger is standing right there. And that's all for this episode of Fire and Smoke, New Ronne. If you want to keep up with the show, follow us on our TikTok or Instagram at Fire and Smoke Podcast. Does anybody else have anything they want to say before the end of the episode?
Better come visit us.
That whole time, I was expecting you to look at me and say, screw you, Philip.
Yeah.
Can't believe you did it.
But it was like,
You kept giving me that look.
I can't say screw you because like that. Yeah, of course he would do that. Of course. You could have made it a different character that wouldn't do that.
Could have given you guys like a zany sidekick instead that was like, oh yeah, Bing Bong can sacrifice himself. We have no emotional contact. We have no emotional connection to him.
If any-
It's fine.
We should have brought someone from the research station. We'd be like, it's Steve from work.
Can you guys imagine if you
Steve,
had?
you gotta
Old-
sacrifice yourself.
Old Neil.
Could you guys imagine if you had brought Jonathan down into the tunnels and he was the one who
No.
sacrificed
we
himself?
wouldn't allow
If any-
that. We wouldn't allow
If
that.
anything, emotional connection would have been higher.
What the
We
hell?
would have been
What are you
more-
talking about?
More torn
You
apart.
know.
We would have actually cried.
The
recording
sillier
this.
the character is, the higher the stakes are.
Yeah.
'Cause,
If
you know,
it was
like,
between
As characters, it's very
me or
sad. But like,
Jonathan,
this is a
everyone
very-
would be like, Neil, you gotta
Yeah.
sacrifice
Yeah.
yourself.
but this is like a very reasonable path for the character to go down. But with the silly character, it's like, what do you mean? No, Jonathan's coming with us. What are you talking about?
He's so excited to see the past. We gotta take him.
I'm gonna do it.
No, Jonathan, no.
You'll be all right.
This is pretty good, Jonathan.
What'd you guys think of that? The ending, the arc for the kid?
I should have known.
We should have grabbed him earlier.
Should have been holding onto his arm the whole time.
He's spirit world now.
It was a good ending. It was.
It's a good
sweet.
ending.
Yeah.
It was also true that in order to control any of this power, somebody would have had to do this. But it is like sacrificing part of yourself.
Yeah.
It isn't the end, but things are just going to be different.
Well, change
Yeah.
is bad, so.
Well, change is bad, so check that one off the list.
Philip?
Yeah.
I'm tired of this.
Mhm.
Eric better show up in the finale.
He's not gonna be here. I've given
I
up.
thought so too. Last episode, and Philip assured me he was going to be here.
But he
And
wasn't
now
here.
he's not.
I don't want to be the guy that cried wolf 19 times, but Eric's gonna be here next episode. He assured me. I forgot to tell you guys before we started, but Eric couldn't make it today. He was playing checkers and he got Jumanji'd.
Into checkers.
What?
He got pulled into the game checkers. He became like a little red checkers piece and he won. Like he made it out of the game, but he's still a red checkers piece. They're trying to figure that one out. He's not like fixed yet.
But you're assuring me this will get fixed by the time we record the finale.
We've got our top scientists looking into it and it's all going to be okay.
Are you sure the scientists aren't working for a corrupt government?
Well, I didn't check. Did you guys?
No, you just
This is your
assured us
thing.
they were the top scientists.
Well, I got them based off of your recommendation.
That's what that was for?
You said you were looking for board game experts. I didn't send you a single scientist.
Rats. Okay, well, I'm going to go try to make sure they help get Eric back to normal so he can be here next episode.
Honestly, I'm struggling to believe it. I really want to.
We'll see.
He could Gandalf the White.
All right, we'll see if Eric Gandalf's the White next episode.
Slay, po, way, po.